Hello and a very warm welcome to our Twinkle of Christmas Masterclass. I'm Claire German, Managing Director at Design Centre Chelsea Harbour. In this virtual format, we're keeping our community engaged and inspired wherever they are. We're bringing together the best in creative talent as they share insider knowledge, decorating secrets and tricks of the trade. Everything may be very different this year, but by the magic of technology, we're bringing the spirit of Christmas to your home. I'm delighted to introduce acclaimed florist John Carter. His phone number is on speed dial for many interior designers and high-profile clients. He is also a gold medalist at the Chelsea Flower Show. It is no wonder his work has a timeless natural beauty to it. A Christmas wreath will bring such much-needed festive cheer this season. We're all in for such a treat, as John is a master of his craft. So without further ado, over to you, John, beaming in from your garden. Thank you so much.
Greenery first, as we all do. Take it into your, this is very simple. But actually a lot of people, I still find, particularly find that they don't wire correctly. It's 2/3, 1/3, down, under, up, over. And it must act as a cage. You need that strength. So when you're using your fingers to push it into the moss, you need that strength. And I've also noticed people tend to, firstly, not make the wires of equal length. If they're of equal length, it's far easier to push them into the moss, and they tend to bend the wire. If you bend the wire, it's so hard to get into the moss and you can't make it neat. So it literally starts off, goes in, really push tight, firm down, and already, as I said, wired here. Again, this is clearer to see on the blue pine. You see it has a cage effect here, guys. It's just very neat wire and stems in, down. I'll show you again. This really is the only way to do it. You can, of course, just push things into, if you'd like to, into chicken wire and things like that. The only trouble with that, if you have a door that's been constantly used, it will eventually fall to pieces. Up, down, round, and then. And I particularly love this. I'm not even sure what it is, but I saw it in Porter's and it's just the most heaven foliage. And it's the colour is perfection. Again, look how nice that looks at that. And I tend to do groups of things together. So another one of there, down. It's constant layering. Works. I think the underside of the leaf is actually far nicer than the correct side. I just think that looks far nicer and chicer like that, particularly with blue and white. Just works. Next thing, Eryngium. I love Eryngium because it has that very soft grey blue, but also that sagey green. Again, just looks so wonderful against blue and white. You don't have to have things that, some people may say, why do you want everything that just blends into your, that blends? I just don't like things that shout. I like things that just look quiet, timeless, and 5 years down the line, you'll still think, wow, that looks nice. You see, it's completely like a layering effect. It just works really neatly. And you must obviously have to go with the shape of the wreath, so you wouldn't go that way. You just follow the shape that it naturally would lead you to. I'm actually putting more. If this was, if this was I'm doing it for videoing this probably has more ingredients than I actually would use on most times. I'm quite a purist in that effect. I really don't like things overdone. Then I saw today Dennis Edwards in Covent Garden, these heaven thistles. I'm not sure where they've grown or which, but they assured me, I just saw them, I said, oh my God, that brown, again, with blue, look at that. That's just the sort of thing I absolutely love. It's so painful on your fingers though. For some people may need to work in gloves. I can never work, it's like with my garden, I have to have my hands in the soil. I can't work with gloves on. Round again. In. Then I think it really needs, I just need to find I've got some blue hydrangea, which I've got over here. You see, I really now this to me is the most perfect colour. And again, that against the brown of the thistle is just so nice, it just works. And this was what's so nice about the hydrangea, it will dry beautifully. Can you imagine that's a natural colour? It's just... As you can see now, the layering is really taking effect. And I've got these really pretty little cones and they just look so nice against the green of the bay. And I just love the underside of the bay. I just think that again with that soft caramelly brown. I don't like too many cones. I don't want to overdo it because it tends to make it quite dark. Unless they're completely cones and chestnuts, which would look sensational, particularly in the country against a lovely oak door. It's very glossy, it would just look wonderful. To make really lovely door rids correctly, they are very time consuming, and to do them just to make them look lovely, because you can buy the frames with them already made. I'm personally still very much so, of course I have used the ready-made ones, of course, but I still prefer, for me, I like to make the wreath, the base, everything, because it's just feels right for me to do, and for all my friends. Now, you see that piece of foliage, most people think that's not nice, but all you need to do is cut that out, and look how nice that looks. You just layer that, put it into that way into the moss, and it works perfectly. I thought to myself, shall I do more of the blue hydrangea? I just want a hint of the blue, because it just, again, I just think all the foliage, they're so natural, they just speak for themselves. And I have got some wonderful, really beautiful dried fern that I'm going to use. But this will go in once this is on the door, because it's simply so fragile, it will just break so quickly, and it would be such a shame for the tips to be broken. So once it's on the doors, I will place that into it. Again, how nice does that look? It's like almost like angel's wings. Perfect blue. Just look at that with a hydrangea, and it has the same shape as the thistle. That's just, to me, I love detail. I'm sure 99.9% of people don't even notice, but the people I deal with truly notice. You have to remember, because I'm being filmed here, but normally you have to, so I'm literally focusing more to the left hand side, but what you have to do is keep turning things around, because then you can see that there's small holes. So you just, because literally once this is on the door, you don't want to see this. This all has to be filled in. I've got a little helper. This is my Milo. Are you going to say hello? Hello. Come to be nosy. Oh, you're coming to be nosy. Don't like the mess, do you? We don't like the mess. I've just finished, nearly finishing the wreath, and I have got 3 choices of blue velvet ribbon. I've got one of the dark blue, one of the very soft blue, but I still think personally this is the best with it, because if you were to look at this hydrangea and you see against that velvet, it has that, see, the hydrangea has that wonderful green running through its petal, and it just truly works with that. Secret is that you'll often find when you get your ribbon, whoever your supplier is, it can sometimes crush, and as I'm sure all of you will know, the best way of getting any crease out of velvet is to steam it, never ever to press it with an iron, because obviously the pile, if you remember, if you sat on a chair and your handprint will always leave fingerprints on a velvet sofa. Thank you, Claire and Caroline, for asking me to help with your masterclass. I hope you've enjoyed it. Merry Christmas, everybody.